and welcome to the Prevention Corner. I have a special guest with me tonight that I have had the opportunity to get to know through our Peace Nick initiatives here in Washtenaw County. And we have Narissa Legg, who is the owner and the operator and the creator of Black Girls Crowned. Narissa, thank you so much for being on with us. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
So this organization and this initiative that you created is so important. As an African
Mhm.
American father and a daughter who was biracial, who was challenged all along the way from elementary, middle, high school, and in her professional career, as well as all of my sisters. I am in the middle of 10 with six
Oh,
sisters.
oh my goodness.
Six sisters. And my father who was a pastor, and so we know the dynamic in the church where women have had to struggle to find their niche beyond
Yeah.
just the supportive roles. And there are so many great women who are in leadership roles now surfacing in our churches and in our businesses and in our community initiatives, which is why I believe this is so important to start young. Larissa, tell us about how this concept came about.
Well, the concept came about as a result of honestly my own life. Similar to what you were saying in regards to your daughter, your sisters, being a Black woman in America is very challenging. And I have found personally that I often don't have a safe space to talk about the things that I'm going through. And I was actually having a conversation with one of my friends where we were completely open and honest about childhood traumas and things that were a result of those childhood traumas, the things that we're currently going through. And God literally gave me the vision to start Black Girls Crowned that night. I always wanted to start a nonprofit organization, but I just wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to land. And
Hmm.
he really spoke to me and he gave me that vision that I need to help my own people.
Yeah.
And so we started off mainly working with, I want to say, like millennial Black women, but it has since ventured into servicing teenagers, into servicing Black men, into servicing the elder community. We're really all over the place because we want to be able to provide a safe space for Black people in general so that
Hmm.
we can have a place for us to talk about the things that we go through in particular without judgment and also without all the mumble jumble of the therapy world, all these words that we
Yes.
may not
Yes.
necessarily use on a regular basis, while still providing that education piece as well. So I
Hmm.
really am grateful to God that He gave me this vision to start this organization because it definitely has taken off in so many different ways that I didn't even imagine in the very beginning.
Yeah. And this is something that, as I have heard you describe and talk to audiences in the events that we've held through Peacenik, with
Mhm.
the diligence, due diligence to make sure that no one's left out.
Right.
It's inclusive and that
Yes.
there is no judgment. This is
Mhm.
about being able to find how do you help those who may not have the courage and the ability or the know-how to speak up for
Right.
themselves.
You're absolutely
And that's
correct.
what I see is everything that I've read and learned about what you have done. And I'm so proud of you and stepping out to do this. I know in public service and that I've been involved with working 30 plus years in public
Mhm.
safety, knowing the challenges when we work with our students at schools and in our faith
Mhm.
communities and just in general. Everybody's trying to find where do they fit. And
Right.
unfortunately, now social media is driving so much of the challenges that we're facing, particularly as it relates to self esteem.
Absolutely.
And for
We
me,
are
that, go ahead, go ahead.
we are currently seeing such low self-esteem in regards to comparing ourselves to the people that we see on social media. And sometimes it's not even necessarily celebrities, right?
Right.
It may be an old friend, a coworker, but I always remind people that they're only highlighting the reels, right? They're only highlighting the good parts of their life. They're not necessarily hiding their or they're not necessarily showing the insecurities. They're not showing all the things that they've had to do in order to get to this point. And so it's very unfair to compare yourself to other people when you don't even know their story. And
Right.
also,
Right.
everyone's journey is completely different. But
Hmm.
I do recognize that social media makes it so hard for us to grasp the concept that there's no such thing as normal, right? There's no such thing as a certain title of success. Like everyone's situation is completely different and our lives completely reflect that. And so it's just best for us to embrace who we actually really are. But that goes back to we have to have safe spaces where we are able to show up as our authentic selves,
Hmm.
where we don't feel like we have to compare, where we don't feel like we have to lie in order to be in the room. We have to have spaces where we can show up just as us and
Yeah.
just to be who we are,
Mm.
exactly as we are.
And that is so important right now because we have so much going on in these dynamics with
Yeah.
every student. Everybody's got cell phones. Some of them have two. Unfortunately, I have a
Mhm,
work cell phone and a personal one, and the
mhm.
text messages and the prompts of family members and people who hide behind screens that put up things that they don't realize. And I see that more with our young people than anywhere else when we have situations occurring in our schools and incidents happen before they even get on the bus. You know,
Right.
there's drama before they ever get to school. And then when they get to school, that's
Mhm.
when it all breaks out. And so it's
Yeah.
such a challenge for our teachers and for those who are striving to educate our students and give them a platform without all the rest of those distractions that are going
Right.
around.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So here's the
Yeah.
thing that I want you to do. Walk us through what Black Girls Crown, what we focus on, and for us, by us. Walk us through this information that you have on your website that talks about your organization and your beliefs and at the core values of what you're striving to do with our young people.
Yeah. So what we focus on is literally you. The person that is in front of us is who we focus on. And whether you are seeking individual therapy, couples therapy, family therapy, or you're maybe just in one of our many community groups like we do at Peacenik. We are focused literally on the person that is in front of us. We cater all of our services to the individual because we know, as we just said, no two people are alike. And so it would be very unfair for me to provide one way of therapy services for every single person.
Hmm.
And so we also do this by as it said, for us by us. And so when I think of that, I'm thinking of we use plain English, the language that we're using right now. That's exactly how I talk to my clients.
Hmm.
That's exactly how I talk in presentations. I don't believe in like code switching or, trying to appease other people because, again, my focus is my client. That's the person that I want to reach. That's the person that I want to feel safe wherever I go. And so we use this approach in order to cater to the Black community because that is our focus. But we are definitely very much inclusive. But our therapist, it's me, and then also I have another co-therapist as well. And then we also have some partnerships where we're able to align with other missions that are similar to ours. And we're able to come together so that we're able to, again, provide safe spaces. And so our therapy services don't always look like everyone else's.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily our services are virtual right now, but just for example, in person, it's not just necessarily a person laying on the couch and the therapist sitting in
Right.
the chair,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe we're both sitting on the couch, right? Maybe we're
Right.
sitting on the floor. Maybe we're outside taking a walk. Maybe,
Right.
it's really catered to the individual. And even with virtual services, I feel like that has been a blessing in disguise because my clients are able to come on screen and maybe their kids are in the background. Maybe they're cooking dinner. Maybe they're working out. Whatever it is that works for them, as
Hmm.
long as they're able to feel safe, that is our main goal. Again, providing safe spaces that look like us, sound like us, they are for us and by us. And that also is dependent upon each individual because no two black people are alike,
Right.
so again, being able to just cater towards the person, that's our
Hmm.
focus.
Yeah, and I am an identical twin.
Oh my goodness.
We are very different, but we
Mhm.
are so alike. We talk every day, and that's the dynamic of even our conversations about things that we're both experiencing, things going on with our families, and things going on with life. Everybody's different, and so to
Right.
be able to treat them as an individual within their
Mhm.
confines is so important. It's so
Yes.
important. Yeah. So talk to
Yes.
us about this event. What does blackness mean to you? And this was something that was held in September. This event,
Mhm, mhm.
talk to us about this event.
Yeah, so this event was at the library here in Ipsy, and we actually showed a film, which is also a part of us catering towards the audience because sometimes we need visuals, right?
Yes.
Sometimes we don't just need a person up there just lecturing about a certain topic. Sometimes we need to see a visual. And so we had this film, and I am forgetting what it was called, but it was basically about the beauty industry in regards to Black women and how we are often overlooked and how we are often whitewashed. And so this event talks about what does Blackness actually mean to us in spite of all of the things that the outside world tries to tell us about what our Blackness is.
Hmm.
So it gave us the opportunity to openly discuss. And we had, I think the youngest person may have been like 6 or 7. And then the oldest may have been in her 60s. So being able to provide this conversation across generations was also so important too, because we were able to hear from older individuals who may have seen the progression of Blackness in our world, in our country. And then also to see, the youngest being 6 years old and they don't really, maybe they don't have a concept of what Blackness actually is. And so we were able to come together and really actually encourage each other to again embrace ourselves exactly as we are and
Hmm.
to not allow outside influences to tell us who we are. We were able to decide who we are for ourselves. So that was a
Well,
really, really awesome event.
yeah. So with that event and the things
Mhm.
that you've done in the community to provide this platform, do you see that more mothers are engaging to get their daughters, particularly their preteen, who are at that most vulnerable time to believe that if I don't get enough likes on these social media platforms, I'm not going to be okay or accepted by
Yeah.
my friends?
Yes, absolutely. I am, especially over the past year, it seems as if a lot of mothers are not only getting into therapy themselves and coming to these types of events, but they are bringing their children. Even I had someone ask, like, can a 4-year-old come? It's all inclusive because again, we want to make sure that even from the youngest age, we're able to embrace who we actually are so that they may not compare themselves to other people when they become of age. And then also, as you were saying, that preteen age, which is so crucial. I mean, I remember being in middle school and I didn't even have social media, and it still was a little bit of a rough time. So I can only imagine
Right.
constantly having all eyes on you every single time you post and then feeling this pressure as if like if I don't get enough likes that means that people don't like me.
Right.
So being able to have these conversations with our teenagers, with our preteens, whatever the age, it's so important. And then also I'm finding that as we're having these conversations that are so inclusive across generations, that we're honestly all going through the same thing.
Yes.
It just looks different depending upon who you are and also what generation you're in, but
Hmm.
we're all going through the same thing. We all struggle with self-esteem at some point in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. So the events that you've been hosting, and I like that approach to work with mothers and daughters and grandparents and those who are connected to families. We're seeing now more than ever how much we need each other. We
Yes.
need each other, and this family dynamic of support and is so important, not to criticize or
Mhm.
to condemn
Mhm.
or to look down or put in a box over there. It's being inclusive. And that
Yes.
and the materials that I've seen and looked at what you've done and how you're going about bringing light to that communication format, it opens the
Mhm.
doors for young people to be able to not only talk with you, but to talk to mom, talk to the teachers, talk to others.
Yes,
And
yes.
do you find that there are times that students and family members will have the aha moment?
I will say yes, but then sometimes no. So it really the no's kind of they hit harder for me when maybe a mom is not able to understand her preteen, even though they're literally going through the same exact thing. But
Hmm.
those aha moments when they do realize, like, oh, we're literally going through the same thing, or I went through that as a teenager. I just didn't actually hear that from my child, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
So being able to have this safe space, like you were saying, basically not only allows them to talk while they're with us, but it helps them to feel more comfortable to talk to their moms authentically or
Mm.
to talk to their teachers and just actually have a safe person to talk to. It
Yeah.
helps them to feel more comfortable.
So this ability to do these community events that we have been involved with, I think that what I'm seeing has been so important with how these groups and this organization is reaching out to family members and to host events like the ones that you've shared with us. The Beauty
Mhm.
Within Blackness, and having your poster that's there with Black Girls Crown, and having this information. How are
Mhm.
these events, are they planned, and how can people get access to coming to events such as these?
So I would say the number one way for anyone to find out about our events is our social media page. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook at BLK Girls Crowned, and also the website as well, blackgirlscrown.com. And then also, if anyone wants us to host an event, they can always email us because, again, we are a community organization and so I really love having partnerships with organizations where I'm able to facilitate these conversations because it is just so important. Like we really just need to be able to have a safe space because like you said as well, we need each other now more than ever. And I think I say that at every single Peace Nick event that we
Yes,
have,
you do. Yes, you
we
do.
need each other
Yeah.
now more than ever. We need to spread love and kindness because it's very rough. People we're going through so many different things on top of the events of the country,
Yeah.
right? So people
Right.
are going through a lot of things. And so
Mhm.
I'm always open to having community conversations, especially, which is why I'm so grateful for Peacenik because it has definitely opened so many more doors and just being able to have these conversations again with maybe people who I didn't even realize needed the help,
Yes.
right? Or
Yeah.
people that I didn't realize would want to have these conversations. Safe
Hmm.
spaces are so important. I
Yes,
cannot
they are.
stress that enough.
And those safe spaces, as you described that, for our young people and for those who are feeling marginalized in
Mhm.
this environment, is so important because people don't know who
Mhm.
to talk to. And the
Right.
intensity of all of the it's organized chaos around us that has impacted all of our lives in such a unique
Mhm.
way that how do you breathe in this? How do you
Exactly.
breathe in it? Where do you find that safe space? And that's why
Mhm.
your organization and what you're doing is so important for those who are feeling on the edge,
Yeah.
feeling on the edge. This
Yeah.
is, just recently with, uh, and we're still going through it right now as we do this interview, dealing with SNAP and the families
Mhm.
who are without
Yeah.
and struggling from already paycheck to paycheck, but now it's like even the support services aren't there. And
Mhm.
that self-esteem, particularly for the parents and the mothers and the fathers and siblings and everybody who is like depending on each other. And then there's,
Right.
where are these other resources? And how do I feel good
Mhm.
about what I can't do anymore?
Right, right.
And
Yes.
that's why when I hear you at Peacenik and I see this, and as I've told Reverend Jackson, this has the ability to do something we have not done in years in Washington County, is to bring people together on a unique platform through Peacenik
Right.
to galvanize who was doing what in the community and
Mhm,
what resources
mhm.
are available that people didn't know about. Because
Right,
I was
right.
not aware of Black Girls Crowned until we met at Peacenik.
Right,
And so
right.
I'm so excited and glad that we had that opportunity. And this is something that, we talk about the events and the opportunities and my work in Pittsfield Township. We've had you at our national night out efforts, and
Yeah.
I was so excited to have you there, and the other events that we participated in, and that's and then also at a Peacenik event where you were presenting to the group and to the body about the things that are going on, where people are, how people can get access to those resources, and so I'm just the outreach with the groups that you're working with and those community members. Tell us again, how can people, when they go to blackgirlscrown.com
Mhm.
and go through the process, and are you available? Like, you can sign up for, people can sign up to have you come speak at their schools, at their community events, at their faith community meetings. How was that organized? People are, tell us more about when you do those presentations and come out to the community. What would people expect?
So, anyone can literally email to ask if we can come out to facilitate these conversations. And what usually happens is I will ask the organizer, what are the needs of this particular audience? What is it that people are actually going through? What are people talking about? What do you see people struggling with? Because again, every single event, every single conversation is catered towards that audience.
Hmm.
And so it's basically like a treatment plan in the therapy world, right? Where we figure out what are the needs and also what are the barriers? Why are these needs not being addressed? And then I usually come together with some type of presentation that literally is catered towards having a discussion. I'm really big with having the actual discussion. I don't necessarily like to sit there and talk all the, no. I
Right.
want
It's not
other
a
people.
lecture. Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's
Not a
not a
lecture
lecture.
session. Yeah.
It's a conversation, it's a
Hmm.
discussion so that we can release. I know a lot of people are probably wondering, like, she keeps talking about safe spaces. Like, why is that so important? Because if we don't have a space for us to literally release everything that we are going through day to day, month to month, year to year, whatever the situation, it literally bottles up in our bodies and it starts to affect us mentally. So now we're feeling more anxious. Now we're feeling depressed. Now we're feeling sad. Now we feel like we're literally on the edge, as you referred to earlier. And then also, it can manifest in our bodies. That's
Yes.
sometimes why we have high blood pressure. That's
Hmm.
why we develop diabetes. That's it can be the cause for so many different things, not just mentally, but physically too, which is why, again, it's so important that we're able to release whatever it is that is holding in our bodies. And
Hmm.
also, not only do we do the community conversations, but because I am a licensed therapist, we also provide individual therapy, couples therapy, and family therapy. Right now, we accept major insurances: Blue Cross Blue Shield, Blue Care Network, Aetna, Priority Health, Cigna, United Healthcare, and then also straight Medicaid. And so those services look a little bit different, but only because they're individualized, right? So
Hmm.
someone can email me requesting therapy services from either me or my co-therapist, and that would literally look like whatever the client needs it to look like. We meet once a week, every 2 weeks, whatever works for the client, and we're able to again release whatever it is that we're holding on to and actually have a therapeutic journey that also can accompany a lot of our group events, like we've been talking about too.
Hmm. So when we talk about the purpose and we look at that,
Mhm.
the purpose again, all our overall purpose to create a safe space for African American community to discuss the past, create a better future for ourselves, our legacy through counseling services, mental health workshops, community engagements, our community organizations located in Ypsilanti Metro Detroit area. And
Mhm.
with that, the also please go again one more time. What we focus on for us, by us.
Yes. So the focus is on you, whether you're seeking individual, couples, family counseling. And again, it's not even just for Black children, it's not just for women, it's for the entire community, specifically the Black community. But for us, by us, not only does our community organization and counseling approach cater to the Black community, but we are a part of the Black community. And we find that that is also very therapeutic in order to have better self esteem and a healthier healing journey in order to like incorporate our culture. That is so important. That's what For Us By Us means, is incorporating our culture into every therapy session, every group session we have, every discussion in the community that we have. We want to be able to embrace who we actually are so that we're no longer hiding ourselves and we're able to be our authentic self.
Marissa, this has been such an enlightening conversation. I'm so excited that we've had this opportunity to share with our community the great work that you're doing. Congratulations. And I
Mm,
applaud what you do from the bottom of my heart, knowing with all of the thousands of children that I've worked with, and I've worked in juvenile corrections, I've worked in a children's psychiatric hospital, and I
mm,
know that dynamic when children who are in need trust someone that we don't let
yeah.
them down. And I don't see
Mhm.
that in you.
Thank
I don't see that
you.
in you. I see
Yeah.
a purpose. I see that you are committed to this initiative, and it is so important for our community members to know about this service and how to get access to it. But also, I want to just have you share with us this group photo.
Yes.
Talk to us about this
So,
group photo.
So, Black Girls Crown, as I said before, we have a lot of community partnerships. Peacenik is one of them, but also this year I partnered with someone who I see as a mentor. And we were able to together come up with this concept of, we call it Black Girl Wellbeing. And Black Girl Wellbeing specifically does events within the Ypsilanti community for Black women and specifically Black mothers and their children too, but specifically Black mothers. And so this picture that you were seeing was our last event in October where we did a paint and pour into you. And
Uh,
so we literally had painting canvases of beautiful Black pictures. Some people were also able to freely paint if they needed to. And we had an amazing brunch and a lot of sisterhood. Like this organization, Black Girl Wellbeing, that's a part of our partnership, it really is about sisterhood. And again, having a safe space where we are just able to be and let our hair down. So we have several events throughout the year. We'll be starting back up in January. You'll also be able to find that information on the Black Girls Crown website and also our Facebook and Instagram page. But then also, Black Girl Wellbeing has a specific website, which is blackgirlwellbeing.com. And so that is one of the many initiatives that I am very, very excited about, specifically catering towards Black moms, because as we were saying before, it's very, very stressful, right? And then
yes.
also, we're finding that a lot of moms feel completely depleted. They feel like they've lost themselves.
Yeah.
And so, with that event in particular, and our other events with Black Girl Wellbeing, they're literally able to let their hair down and just be themselves. They don't have to worry about someone
Yeah.
calling them mom every 5 seconds. Like, they
Yeah.
don't have to worry about anything. We take care of everything for them as well.
Yeah.
So, really, just a safe space where we're able to just be our authentic selves and have some fun too, because that was a really fun event.
Yeah. It looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Narissa, I am so appreciative. of you spending this time with us to share with our audience and all of our friends about Black Girls Crown. Will you come back at some time in the near future and talk to us again?
Oh, absolutely. This has been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I appreciate your encouragement. I'm always honored that people think of us so highly. So I'm very, very grateful for you. I appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome. And to our audience and friends, please feel free to access the website, content information that you've seen here in our program. Narissa and her group will always be responsive to anyone who reaches out to them. Again, thank you so much for being a part of the Prevention Corner tonight. Thank you so much.